Well, Geeta, it's an absolute pleasure to meet you, and congratulations on your incredible victory.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so when did you start practicing fencing? What got you into this sport?
Well, I started fencing at the age of 10, and the initial aim was to lose weight since I was quite a chubby kid back then. But as I started doing it more, I started to enjoy the sport much more and decided to keep doing it.
So as a fencer myself, I know that the sport requires a lot of dedication and practice. Can you tell us a little bit about your regime? What led you up to this point?
Well, I used to practice around 3-4 times a week, and then once I went to Hong Kong for a competition in 2019, so around 4 years ago, and that day I got 3 gold medals from the age groups U11, U12, and U14.
And the champion involvement is Geeta Nambiar of
From that day on, I took fencing more seriously. I started training harder, working harder on it. My parents and my coach, who has supported me a lot through this journey, because I was not mentally strong as a kid. I was really soft, but fencing is a really fierce sport. So I have to be strong on the inside too, as well as the outside.
Balancing schoolwork and extracurricular activities like sports is really challenging. How do you manage to excel in both?
Well, for my schedule to start with, for school days, I wake up around 7 normal time and I get to school. And before, we had flex time. So I would take flex time really seriously and try to get all my work done. And then after school, I go straight to fencing. And then depending on the training days or who comes, if there's little kids mainly, I would go do my homework while they're training. And then right after, when it's my turn to train, when people I can train with come, I'd go straight back to training. So that'll take about 3-4 hours. When I get home, I'd shower, eat dinner as fast as I can. Then the rest of the night is just homework and then sleep. I try to get 8 hours, but it's kind of difficult.
Well, that's a very rigorous schedule. So, I've always found that with fencing, there are so many links to the IB learner profile traits. Like, for example, caring about your opponent. There are so many rules of etiquette in fencing, like saluting, etc. And of course, risk-taking. Could you talk a little bit about how fencing is really a pure embodiment of the IB learner profile?
So let's start with caring. From what I've experienced and all that, caring is actually a really big role, especially during competitions. Because a normal situation would be your opponent falls down. And in fencing, you shouldn't just turn around and walk away, don't care about your opponent. Because in fencing, the origin, there's a lot of respect in it, saluting, it's all part of fencing. And then, so you should go help your opponent up, first of all, ask them if they're okay, how good, and then you can get back to the game. There's many signs where you can go are you okay? Oh, referee stop, that. That's included in fencing as well. And then for risk taker, fencing itself you need a lot of encouragement and to do the sport. Picking up the sword, putting on the mask, and standing behind the line to start, you need a lot of courage to do that. If you say it might be easy, but when you're there and on the spot, the whole feeling is different. So taking that first step, you need to be a big risk taker.
I really like that rule of etiquette where fencers don't turn their back to each other. I wish a lot of our students in the classroom would do the same to the teacher and when their peers are talking.
Never turn your back to your teachers and your peers.
What are your next steps or future goals in fencing?
Well, my first goal is to try to get into the Indian national team for fencing, since I'm from India and my passport's Indian. So I really want to represent my country because there's not a lot of famous fencers from India. There's a few, and I'd like to be one of them as well. And secondly, big games such as Asian Games, Cadet Junior Championships, Grand Prix, and of course the Olympics at the end.
Very cool. So Geeta, we all know that épée is the best form of fencing. Why saber?
No way. Saber is number one. As a 10-year-old, I did épée first and wasn't my favorite, but I'd say it's because I wasn't that good at it at first. I couldn't even hold the sword properly. And saber caught my eye as an epee fencer. So I changed to saber immediately, and I found my passion and love for fencing in saber. It's like, as a big girl, doing epee was hard because I was a really big target. But then in saber, I was able to, I had my ways, so I decided to keep that, and it got to where I am today.
The saber's pretty cool.
Yeah, I gotta admit that.